Hello guys, I am Deo Deloy. I am an English teacher and I love to teach things related to writing, to oral communication, research, linguistics, and the rest of the related field of knowledge to mine. Now, the last time I did promise that I'm going to have a series of video tutorials or lectures related to things related to academic papers or technical papers, given the fact that this is already second quarter of the English for academic and professional purposes for senior high school grade 11, and by the next semester they will be dealing with research, so a lot of larger works to be done. So you'll be expecting that one soon if I can really sustain. But the problem is we need to discuss first things related to essay and its structures, given the fact that most of the contents, the components, or the structures also of the essay are also found in the larger works. So students must have foundation into that. Somebody messaged me, why not also cover topics or free topics, so long as it's related to your field. So hopefully or probably soon I might also discuss things related to oral communication, to linguistics aside from writing. But again, I really wanted to prioritize writing because that's actually the subject I am handling right now, and that's my favorite macro skill. Disclaimer lang po, um, do not really expect a lot from me, so I'm just here to share a humble learning, a humble knowledge of mine. If you find some erroneous words or statements in my discussion, so you just can comment for my improvement, for my corrections. And at the same time, if for the students, of course, do not just consider me as a sole reference or the only reference for your learning. You could add, or you could search in the Google or ask professors or teachers or other lecturers who could better discuss the things that I'm going to discuss in here, so they can really discuss these stops, academic papers, technical papers, and other learnings more advanced, more knowledgeable. So definitely you can also consult from them. And I'm sorry again for my grammar if there are really mistakes into that, because my video is, I just really wanted to appear at conversational lecture so that I would not get conscious. And at the same time, this is just raw, so you cannot really expect from me a lot of graphics and layout and what they call this one, technicalities, the music background, and the rest of the stuff. So just forgive me for onto that, because I'm just doing it my own. Anyways, the aim again is not to impress, but definitely I just really wanted to share my humble knowledge on my craft for my students and for those who are also interested to listen. So just listen, and hopefully I'm going to give you an additional knowledge to your knowledge inventory. So once again, good day, and I wanted to start right now. So the topic that we are going to discuss as of the moment is all about essay. Supposedly, it should be discussed in the first quarter for English for ACAD subject for grade 11. But then again, I wanted to have a review on this because most of the parts of an essay are also considered to be parts or found in the larger works like critiques and reviews. So the objectives that I wanted to have, first I wanted to define or conceptualize what is an essay and why some students or even some professionals are very allergic in doing this. And I wanted to briefly discuss each type of essay and its parts, and I want also to enumerate considerations on the different things about essay, and I wanted to have also a discussion on the samples that I will be giving. So as I promised, I will have two media. First is my discussion in this video, and at the same time I'm going to provide samples of my academic outputs, or academic paper outputs rather, or essays or technical outputs as part of the post in this video, so that you could also have a glance onto that, or you could read onto that for your own benefit. Now, let's start. Definition. What is an essay? So this is just a piece of formal writing dealing with a particular topic. So that's just a general, what they call this one, definition of what is an essay. So it's just you write something about a particular topic. So any topic, so long as you have formality in writing onto that, following a particular structure, it can be considered already as an essay. However, in other contextualized definitions or contextual or operational definitions, an essay can be informal, so long as you're just able to write something or comment something on a particular thing, a paragraph. So that's already considered for essay. But on a standard note, an essay follows a number of words, a flow of structure, grammar, mechanics, guidance, contents. So probably a short essay could have at least 300 words, and a larger work could have 5,000 words, 10,000, depending on the school or the university or professor who is requiring you to do such. Okay, so again, I really considered essay as a very academic output, and why it's very difficult to do one, to write one. Maybe simply because it's considered to be the most difficult macro skill in English. So among the 4 or 5 macro skills in English, so writing is what they call this one, the activity which needs or requires someone to produce something. So it's an output based, and one of the outputs for writing is obviously an essay. So that's the reason um, it's very difficult to do, because there are a lot of things to consider, like for grammar, the mechanics, the topic, the knowledge inventory that you have about the topic. So again, if you do not know something about that particular topic, it will really hard for you to produce or what they call this one, produce an output, an essay output. But once you're able to establish good vocabulary, once you have that trivial knowledge, that factual knowledge, and you can actually say your opinions or suggestions on a particular matter, once you yourself is actually is having that particular foundation on a particular topic, it would just really easy for you to write one. So yun, that's the concept. So once you're able to deal on something in a written form, so that can be considered an essay. So there are different types of essays. So I actually have prepared this one. So there are, in my collection or gathering, there are actually 12. So we have the narrative essay, the descriptive essay, the comparison and contrast, the cause and effect, argumentative, we have the classification, the satirical essays, the informative essay, the expository analysis or critical essay, the persuasive essay, and the process essay. So these are actually the common, but actually there are 15 to 100 times possibly if we're going to specify all of those. But I think these 10 or 12 are considered to be the most common. So for the narrative essay, so we know that when we talk about narrating or narrate, so it's a kind of essay which tells a story. So you're going to account on a particular narrative, and definitely you are going to have an order onto that. But it depends on you how you're going to write that one, because for narrative essays, I think you are going to have the ano yan, the um, transitional devices related to chronology, because again, when it comes to narrative, you need to have an order onto that, proper order, chronological order in different events. So you need to make it you need to have a flow on that on a comprehensive manner. However, for I do not know if flashbacking or foreshadowing can be applied in a narrative essay, but I think it's most cases on a novel or short story. But if you could apply flashbacking and foreshadowing, I think it can be possible. However, the aim of a narrative essay is to have a comprehensive presentation of what has transpired or what has happened in a particular event or story. For a descriptive essay, so you'll be expecting in here descriptive words. It tells about a certain topic. So in most cases, it uses sensory details. So most cases you are going to use an active verbs under that. So descriptive, from the word description, you're just going to describe a particular topic or a particular thing. So comparison and contrast, so you are going to point similarities and differences on a particular topic, the cause and effect. So you're going to identify the problems, and at the same time you are going to provide the results, and possibly you could have recommendations or solutions onto that. Now, for the argumentative essay, so this is actually one of the essays I like, or argumentative essay, because you are going to make a claim with an evidence on this one. So you're going to, what they call this one, point out something, probably an issue, and you are going to present your claim onto that. For example, if you are pro or against on a particular topic, and if possible, you are able to provide facts, and along with your arguments or opinions, you're able to really present well your ideas convincingly. So that's actually an argument, and it has actually also specific style or structure, in which I'm going to discuss that one later. Classification or division essay. So I have made an essay about teachers, and one of the styles that I made is actually a classification or division essay, in which you can really, in each paragraph, you're going to discuss on, for example, different parts of this particular topic, and then you're going to discuss each. So you're going to classify a particular topic. You're going to, what they call this one, individually dissect or individually feature a particular part of a larger something. So it really presents several topics by organizing them into a clearly defined pattern. So in that particular paragraph, you can really see patterns in discussing the classification, how a particular author describe or discuss a particular part of that something. So for example, different types of teachers, or different subjects being taught by the teacher, and how difficult that particular subject to be taught, or parts of what they call this one, parts of judicial, or parts of judicial system in the Philippines, or so long as it categorizes, so long as it classifies something, so that's under the classification or division essay. And the seventh one is the satirical essay. What I love about satirical essay is that you need to really have the ability to balance irony and respect, because if um, it's hard to attain that particular element, because your comment or your essay might become disrespectful or rude if you're going to what they call this one, if you're going to write something that is already too much. Dapat kasi may balance. So yun yung element na hinahanap for satirical essays. So satirical essays are actually trendy. It trendy in the modern times, but some professors, some teachers will really discourage to have such essay, because the author might get lost on his or her point, to the point that he or she is being disrespectful na on the content. So there must be a balance between poking jokes or making humors, or what they call this one, having satires on something, but at the same time you are following the formality of the language, the grammar, and then you are not what they call this one, you are not specifying or pointing a particular individual in your topic. So I'm going to provide a sample of satirical essay later. Okay, for informative essay, so definitely most of the essays are actually under informative essay. So there's an element of information. But if you're just going to really provide the readers with an accurate or factual information of particular something, so that can be under informative essay. For expository essay naman, it means to uncover, so expose. But be careful in the expository essay, because you really need to have good credible facts, accurate facts, and presenting your exposition because delikado siya eh, because you're going to expose on something, you're going to reveal kasi exposition siya. So if possible, you are able to explain or illustrate or clarify the different issues or the different things you are going to have in your essay when you are going to have an expository essay. So, if possible, again and again, it must be containing with facts, it must be containing with accurate illustrations and clarifications and explanation on the different topics that you're going to what they call this one to discuss. Now, for analysis essay, so um, papasok dito yung content analysis that's already more on the linguistic or humanistic research or philosophical research than that when your professor or your teacher would assign you to have a critical essay or analytical essay on a particular topic on a particular issue or you're going to interpret a particular text or a particular what they call this one in most cases it can be categorized already on critique, so make sure that you're able to present a deeper understanding, a deeper analysis on a particular topic, and if possible, you are guided with the different philosophies, um, different for literatures. I think stylistic skills and as well as literary skills in order for you to analyze and interpret a particular text. Kasi most of the text that you're going to analyze under critical or analytical essay, it would be expected that you are going to have a deeper, as I've said, understanding. You need to have a background knowledge, a background information in order for you to have an interpretation or accurate interpretation or analysis on a particular topic. For persuasive essays naman, it's a kind of essay in which you can I do not know if we can really consider or rhetorical pieces in here, but the thing is for persuasive essays that your aim is to really convince the audience to believe in your what they call this one, to believe in your points, to believe in your ideas. So if possible, you need to have striking words, you need to have powerful messages in order for them to really believe in you. So we can observe this one in the election speeches or those what they call this one politicians running for a particular position. So they wanted to establish their platforms, their promises. So definitely they could have a speech like this and what they call this one to persuade or to convince their audience to really believe in them. And process essays, so the last one, so it talks about how something is done. So it is systematic. It should be what they call this one. It should be systematic. It should be procedural. It undergoes series of steps logically. So when you are going to have a process based essay, if possible, you are going to have correct directions or steps in doing. So those are the brief discussions about what they call this one, the different types of essay. Now, for the components of essay, so this is actually very important, guys, to for you to really learn about the different structures. So first and foremost, we have the three basic structures for essays. So first, we have the introduction, and then the second one is the body, and the third one is conclusion. So this is very common. Now, there are students who really fail to attain this particular kind of flow or structuring if they are not that really properly introduced to these. So if possible, teachers must be able to introduce these structures, the introduction, body, conclusion. At least the students could what I call this one, craft or write their essay with the flow, because if the students are not guided with outline, if the students are not that really knowledgeable the structure, they're just going to write whatever they wanted to write, and not unknowingly they go directly to the body without presenting an introduction, and then some it's that maybe the paragraphs will become chaotic or disorderly if they are not going to introduce this one. So Um, for introduction, it is the paragraph that establishes the overview or the macro perspectives of the topic. So we need to teach our students, or for you guys, the students, you really need to teach yourselves on how are you going to write your topic or your thesis or argument with an introduction that could really catch the attention of your um, audience. So for example, for introduction, you may have striking statement or striking words. So in my case, I usually use one word statement or two word striking statement, or a sentence that's really striking. So I do not, most cases, I do not that use an entire paragraph or series of words in a paragraph in having my introduction. So I need to have a one line catchy title to begin my essay. But we have different styles, of course. So you can have also an anecdote. So you may present your essay with an experience, a funny experience to catch the attention of your audience. You can have question. So, but in most cases, question is really discouraged as an introductory statement or a part of introduction. But if you think that the question is worth the risk, so you can actually have that one. So you may also consider a quotation. So in most cases, some of the students, you can really observe in their essays that they tend to use quotation. Yeah, quotation. So but avoid cliche quotations like the youth is the hope of our fatherland. Um, well, if that particular quotation can be applicable all throughout and it's still powerful, then you can have that one. So it's up to you. So long as the quotation that you will be using from an author, from a person, is striking or it's catching, then or rather catching or catchy. So why not? So you can just actually use that one. And you can also have figurative languages, idioms, and other devices or other ways of presenting your statements or sentences in order for you to catch your audience. So, if possible, in the introduction part, you are able to catch the attention of your audience. Okay, so that's the introduction. For the body, so this is the major part of your essay. So in most cases, at least you have the three basic paragraphs, which contains the topic sentence, of course. So in each paragraph, you must present the topic sentence onto that. So that's the what they call this one, the general thought or the main idea of that particular paragraph, the sentence which expresses the main idea of that particular paragraph. So at least yung three basic lang na ano, so the points related to your topic. So the strongest point first, present in the first paragraph of the body the strongest point, the stronger point, and the strong point. So yun, the strongest, the stronger, and the strong one. So so long as it's related, so long as it's powerful, so you can have that particular thing as an inclusion to your body. Now, it is important that you could have good explanation, probably could have statistics, surveys, research results, explanation, cause and effect, enumerations, clarifications or classifications, or different evidences that you wanted to put in the body. So it's nice that your essay will contain also facts. It could be observable or legitimate facts. So observable, those things that are observed in your surrounding, and at the same time, when we talk about what they call this one, when we talk about legitimate facts, those are coming from credible sources like the journals, the researches, books, published books. So those can be considered as legitimate facts. So again and again, for the body, you must be able to present your points. You must be able to present your paragraphs well. You must be able to explain in details the thing that you wanted to express. Now, for the conclusion, it's considered to be the generalization of your topic or the generalization of your essay. Now, if possible, you could have, since this is considered to be the ending paragraph, at least you could have a call to action or a moral lesson at the end, or a striking statement that impresses the readers to believe in you, that calls their what they call this one calls their action to do something, to address on something, or to provide solution on something. The moral lesson is also very important, that at the end of the essay that you're doing, you could give students statements in which they are going to reflect onto that, on what lesson have they learned. So that's the most important thing. So those are actually the three major parts or components of an essay. So um, I wanted to specifically discuss satirical essay, and as well as argumentative essay, because these are the most trendy essay. But excuse me for a while, I need to, what they call this one, turn on the lights. Okay, so good. Um, it's already 26 minutes. Okay, so we're going now to continue. For satirical essay, so this is actually the most likable type of essay. Um, Again and again, it's a bit informal, and to make it formal is a challenge for a writer. But once you're able to get the elements, the proper elements of that, it can be a good, what they call this one, springboard, or it can be a good um, instrument to really awaken awareness on a particular topic, especially if the topic or the issue is sensitive. So from the word satire itself, you are going to make fun, or what they call this one, you need not to make fun, but to poke fun um, in an ironic manner, discussing or describing a particular issue. So I have written one, but I'm not that really absolute if it's actually satirical. So just read that one and analyze or assess by yourself. But in order for you to have satirical essays, the thing, at least four things that you're going to consider. First, choose a topic that is ironic or ridiculous. So find a topic that is somewhat ridiculous, somewhat interesting, somewhat ironic, in which you feel that you really need to describe it with the language of sarcasm. But again and again, it's a bit informal, but it would really be what they call this one, trendy and likable, once you're able to have that one in a bit formal manner. How are you going to do that one? So just follow the flow, the correct structures, the correct grammar, and then have to balance between irony and at the same time respect. And I think you can have the element of a satire essay. So again, the first thing that you're going to consider is to first choose a topic that is ironic or ridiculous. And number two is you're going to use hyperbole, irony, and other figures of speech. So it would be a good element for a satire essay if you're able to play with the words, especially with the figures of speech, particularly the irony and hyperbole. So let's see a sample. And then number three, aim for the humor with moral lesson. So at the end of the day, we wanted our essay to ignite a lesson to everyone. So it's not just about making fun of something, making things ironic, but rather we are also aiming that there must be a moral lesson at the end. That when you are going to read that particular essay, or when you're going to read that satire, at the end at the end you may laugh on something, on a particular part of that, but it enlightens you, it makes you aware on a particular subject na yun na bitaw no. So actually that's the lesson, yun pala yun. And have a balance between respect and irony. Okay, So again ha, have a balance between respect and irony. Baka yung essay mo, yung satire essay mo is nasobrahan na, so you forgot to be respectful. So at the end of the day, in order to make an informal satire to a formal satire, you must be able to still follow the guidelines, follow the structures, follow the mechanics, and at the same time, proper language, and it's not rude and disrespectful at all. For argumentative essay, there is a flow or a move. For higher linguistics, you call that one as move. That's actually Highland's model. So Highlands propose a particular, or Highland propose a particular structure of an argumentative essay. So it's still the introduction, body, conclusion, but specifically the introduction is termed as thesis. So in which it introduces the proposition or claim of a particular author. So what's your what they call the one? What's your claim, and what's the thing that you really wanted to discuss or point out? So what's your proposition? What's your argument? So that's the thesis. And then number two, the body, in most cases the argument. So you're going to present here your evidences, your arguments, your points. Yun, three basic points. Why are you going to claim on that particular thing? It could be a disadvantage or advantage, beneficial, or there's really a drawback if you're pro or cons on a particular topic. So you're going to present that one in the body, and you call the body in Highland's model argumentative essay as an argument. And the third one is conclusion. So in your conclusion is you're going to have a synthesis, or discussion or affirmation on the topic that you have presented, or your thesis, that you are really standing on your point, that you are, what do you call this one, or not maybe standing, but definitely telling or presenting that the claims that you have in your body and in your introductions are really credible and valid. So that's the reason you are supporting your statement with facts, with evidences, that to emphasize that your claim is actually correct, valid, and accurate. So yun, the samples that I have given in my post, there are two. First is satirical essay, but again and again ha, it's not perfect essay. I just really wanted to share how it's being done. So if you're going to, what do you call this one, analyze, you have this, what they call this one, statement. So I use a, what they call this one, behind a comment of appreciation lies an emotion of envy, a post of triumph lies the reality of failure, a publicity of a good act lies the evil heart from within. Welcome to the world of madness. Welcome to the world of insecurity. Welcome to the world of distorted reality. So how I presented the, what they call this one, the introduction of that particular essay of mine is para siyang series of statements or phrases. It tends to be enumerative, leading to a particular, what they call this one, topic. The aim is just actually to catch the attention of the audience, make it relatable. So I think naman that the introduction would really relate. And then if you're going now to just observe the body, so I have presented there my observations, so observable facts and what's happening into to the millennials, and then enumeration also of what they call this one, how social media are threatening the humanity in different ways. And definitely the conclusion, I have this striking statement at the end. I do not know if it's really striking, so you could just check the sample. So that's an example of what they call this one. I think if I'm going to categorize that one in the different types, it's more of satirical, because my aim is, what they call this one, to ironically present what's happening with the millennials, to make fun presenting the reality, but trying to be, what they call this one, trying to minimize the rudeness of the essay. At the end of the day, the aim is to really awaken on what's going on. So that's the reason the title is, what they call this one, real, fake, and the lies of social media. So possibly one of these days, I might also discuss how to create a good title. Okay, and the last example that I'm going to present, um, that I have actually presented in my post, is a classification or division of essay. It's all about um, the value of being a teacher. What did I do in that particular essay is that I presented the different types of teachers or different teachers handling subjects, and how they were able to help us or provide learning from the different, what they call this one, subjects they handle. So I make classifications or division to that, but at the same time I also introduce or include informative or information on different topics. So you may consider that one as actually springboards or bases once you're able to conduct your own essay. So I'm really hoping that in my lecture as of the present, I was able to help you guys. I'm hoping that you are going to write also your own essays. And if you wish to submit that particular essay to me, so just send that one in my messenger. I can help you assess. Okay, I'm very much also open for your assessment or your criticisms on my outputs for my improvement as well. If you really wanted to help me, what they call this one, develop more my skills. But I'm what they call this one, I'm just really hoping that we could have constructive criticisms in here, and I hope that I was able again to help improve the learning, and I hope that I was able to add knowledge in your knowledge inventory. So I think that would be all for essay topics right now. It's already evening. Good night, everyone. So God bless us all.